How you doing? Mr. DJ's back. Getting back to my countdown, my fantasy playlist. Seems like it's taken me forever to complete this countdown on this particular playlist. December 22nd, 1990. I took a month's vacation and I just took a couple of days off. But back to the countdown again. At number 10, up 11 from number 21, a powerful record by INXS. Michael Hutchence on lead vocals. The atmospheric vocals of Michael Hutchence. Love the beat, well, I guess the bass part of the record. Just one of my favorite songs on this fantasy playlist. Disappear by INXS. It was their seventh top 10 hit. Boy, they had a run of hits. The One Thing back in 1983. One of my favorite songs back in the 80s by INXS. I was working at a campus radio station, a volunteer at a campus radio station when that song came out. And I got to tell you, I looked forward to playing that song when it came up in rotation. It was like, yes, I can't wait to play it. Great guitar intro on that record. INXS. Now this particular record, Disappear, went to number 8 in America, but didn't do quite as well in England. Went to number 21 in England. It was written by a drummer and founding member of INXS, one of the founding members of INXS, John Ferris, and Michael Hutchence. Michael Hutchence wrote that. They wrote it in Hong Kong. Now, the guy who produced this record was a legend, Chris Thomas. Chris Thomas worked with Roxy Music, Pink Floyd. He worked with the Beatles on the White Album. He played the harpsichord. No, I take that back. He played the mellotron on the continuing story of Bungalow Bill, one of the famous album cuts off the White Album. Legend has it that Chris Thomas filled in for George Martin, the fifth Beatle, who took a short vacation, was off for the weekend or something like that, and gave Chris Thomas to do a little bit of producing for the Beatles. So hey, that's a big thing right there to produce for. Well, I mean, we're talking about the Beatles. He also produced one of my favorite songs out of the '90s, "Stay" by Shakespeare's Sister. Couldn't get enough of that record. What a lovely video to that record, too. Brilliant video. Just a great song, too. Stay by Shakespeare's Sister. And he also produced Common People by Pulp. And I got that on a fantasy playlist back in the '90s. Chris Thomas was approached by Malcolm McLaren, the manager of the Sex Pistols. Owned a clothing store, I believe. Johnny Rotten used to hang around that clothing store, but Michael McLaren, he asked Chris Thomas, "Can you produce the Sex Pistols?" Chris Thomas co-produced "God Save the Queen." We mean it, man. Yes. Anarchy in the UK, bringing that lifeblood back into rock and roll back in the late '70s. But bringing in some lifeblood on this record for sure by INXS. Gosh dog it. Remember listening to this song on Hitline back in late '90, early '91, and listening to Michael Hutchence disappear, and it just seems to just fade into the music, just blend into the music. It's just surreal. It was atmospheric. It was melodic. It was passionate. It's classic INXS coming in at number 10 on my fantasy playlist, December 22nd, 1990.